Imagine a world where the truth isn't just hidden, it's guarded by shadows that stretch across centuries. Where the things we think we know are mere illusions, crafted to keep us docile, productive, and blissfully ignorant. This is the story of Elias Crowe, a man who stumbled into the veil and pulled it back just enough to see the horrors and wonders beyond. Elias was no hero. He was a 42-year-old archivist at the National Library in Washington, D.C., buried in dusty tomes and forgotten manuscripts. His days blurred into nights under fluorescent lights, cataloging relics from wars long past. But one rainy October evening in 2023, everything changed. It started with a misfiled box. Delivered anonymously to the restricted section, it bore no sender's mark, only a faded label, Project Veil, classified 1947. Curiosity, that ancient temptress, got the better of him. Elias pried it open, expecting Cold War propaganda. Instead, he found a leather-bound journal, its pages yellowed and etched with frantic handwriting. The first entry read, "They watch from the stars, not as invaders, but as shepherds. The public must never know, the veil holds the flock together." Elias's heart raced. He flipped through diagrams of strange symbols, sketches of elongated figures with eyes like black voids, and memos stamped with seals he'd never seen, a pyramid pierced by a beam of light, encircled by the words Ordo ex umbra, order from shadow. As he read deeper, the journal spoke of the event in 1947, not Roswell as the tabloids claimed, but something far older. It described ancient pacts made in the deserts of Egypt, where pharaohs communed with beings from beyond the veil, entities that gifted knowledge in exchange for silence. Fire, the wheel, agriculture. Not human ingenuity, but whispers from the stars. Elias laughed it off at first. Conspiracy nonsense, right? But then he noticed the anomalies. Pages that seemed to shift under his gaze, ink that glowed faintly in the dim light. And the final warning, to seek is to invite the guardians. They erased not just knowledge, but the knower. That night, as Elias locked up, he felt eyes on him. A shadow darted in the corner of his vision, gone when he turned. Paranoia, he told himself. But deep down, he knew, the veil had been tugged. Elias couldn't sleep. The journal haunted his dreams, visions of towering obelisks pulsing with otherworldly energy, crowds chanting in tongues lost to time. By morning, he was obsessed. He cross-referenced the symbols online, careful to use incognito mode. What he found chilled him, whispers on fringe forums about the Order, a secret society predating the Illuminati, pulling strings from the Roman Empire to modern governments. One post stood out, from a user named Veilbreaker87, "The Guardians aren't myth. They guard the anomalies, places where the veil thins. Find the door in the Rockies, and you'll see." Elias's rational mind screamed hoax, but his gut pulled him west. He took a vacation, booking a flight to Colorado. There, in the shadow of the Rockies, lay an abandoned mining town called Whisper Gulch. Locals avoided it, claiming it was cursed. Miners vanished in the 1800s, leaving tools mid-swing. Hiking into the gulch under a full moon, Elias followed coordinates from the journal. The air grew thick, electric. He found it, a cave mouth sealed by boulders, etched with the same pyramid symbol. With a crowbar from his pack, he pried them aside. Inside, the walls shimmered with bioluminescent fungi, illuminating carvings of star maps, not our stars, but constellations twisted, alien. At the cavern's heart stood a stone archway, humming faintly. Elias stepped closer, and the air warped. Visions flooded him, flashes of history rewritten. The Black Death, not plague, but a culling by the Guardians to prevent overpopulation from revealing forbidden tech. The Renaissance, stolen insights from beyond the veil. A voice echoed, not in his ears, but his mind, "You tread where mortals fall." Elias bolted, heart pounding. But as he emerged, a black SUV idled at the trailhead. Men in suits, eyes hidden behind shades, watched him. He ran, but the chase had begun. Back in D.C., Elias's life unraveled. His apartment was tossed, subtly, professionally. The journal, gone, but he'd photographed pages on his phone. Paranoia peaked when his boss called him in. "Elias, we've had reports of unauthorized access. Take some time off." He knew it was a setup. Desperate, he reached out to Veilbreaker87 via encrypted chat. To his shock, a response came, "Meet at the old clock tower, midnight. Come alone." The tower loomed in a forgotten DC alley, its hands frozen at 3:33. There, Elias met her, Dr. Lena Voss, a former NSA cryptographer turned rogue. Tall, sharp-eyed, with silver streaks in her dark hair, she exuded quiet intensity. "You're not the first to peek," Lena said, lighting a cigarette. "The Order, Ordo ex umbra, controls it all. Governments, tech giants, even religions. They hoard knowledge, free energy from zero-point fields, mind control via frequencies in our phones, immortality serums derived from ancient bloodlines. Elias showed her the photos. Lena's face paled. This is from Project Veil. Post-World War II, the US captured Nazi occultists who'd contacted the entities. Roswell was a diversion. The real crash was in 1947, but it wasn't a ship. It was a rift. Together, they decoded more. The entities, called the Watchers, weren't invaders but overseers. Humanity was their experiment, seeded on Earth eons ago, guided subtly. Wars, engineered to evolve tech, pandemics, population control. The public couldn't know, or chaos would ensue, revolutions, madness, but Lena had a lead, a defector from the Order, hiding in Berlin. We go there, she urged. Uncover the archive of forbidden truths. It's said to hold the master veil, the code to tear it down. As they boarded the plane, Elias glanced back. Shadows followed, but now he had an ally. The hunt was on. Berlin pulsed with history's ghosts. Lena and Elias met the defector, Karl Heinrich, in a dimly lit Biergarten. Frail, in his 80s, Karl had been an Order initiate during the Cold War. The veil isn't just secrets, Karl whispered, his voice trembling. It's a literal barrier. The Watchers maintain it with tech we can't comprehend, harmonics that warp reality. Think Mandela effects, glitches in their system. He revealed horrors, the moon landings. Staged not to hide fakeness, but to cover real bases on the far side, mining helium-3 for fusion power the public never sees. Climate change, partially engineered to force migration, consolidating control in megacities wired for surveillance. Karl handed him a keycard. The archive is beneath the Reichstag. Entrance via the old tunnels. But beware, the Guardians are hybrids, part human, part Watcher. They sense intruders. That night, they descended into Berlin's underbelly, labyrinthine tunnels echoing with drips and distant trains. Alarms blared as they breached the vault. Inside, holographic displays of suppressed inventions. Anti-gravity drives tested in the 1950s, suppressed to protect oil empires. Cancer cures from 1970s, withheld to fund pharma. And the big one, proof of simulated reality, Earth as a digital construct, the Watchers as programmers. But the Guardians arrived, tall, pale figures with elongated limbs, moving like smoke. A chase ensued through the tunnels, gunfire, collapsing ceilings. Elias grabbed a data drive, but Karl sacrificed himself, buying time with a grenade. Escaping to the surface, Lena and Elias fled Berlin, the drive burning in Elias's pocket. The veil was cracking. On the run, they hopped continents. In Tokyo, they hacked into a subsidiary of a tech mogul, revealing AI trained on Watcher data, predicting human behavior with 99% accuracy. Public bliss, social media algorithms designed not for profit, but to distract from anomalies like UFO sightings. In the Amazon, they found an indigenous tribe guarding a thin spot, a portal where Watchers crossed. The shaman shared visions. The entities weren't malevolent, but pragmatic. Humanity's free will was an illusion, choices guided by subtle nudges. Free energy, released too soon, it would collapse economies, sparking wars. But doubt crept in, was tearing the veil wise. Elias dreamed of utopia, endless power, cures for all. Lena argued, knowledge is power. The public deserves truth, even if it burns. Their pursuers closed in. In a Cairo safehouse, overlooking the pyramids, built as antennas for Watcher signals, they decrypted the drive. It held the master code, a frequency to shatter the veil worldwide. Back in the Rockies, at the door, they activated it. The archway hummed, reality rippling like water. Watchers emerged, ethereal, luminous beings. You seek to expose us, one intoned. But exposure invites destruction. Your kind is not ready. A battle of wills. Elias broadcast the frequency via hacked satellites. Worldwide, glitches appeared, skies flickering, memories unlocking. People saw truths, hidden bases, suppressed histories, chaos erupted. Riots in cities, governments collapsing. But amid the fire, innovation bloomed, cures released, energies harnessed. In the end, Elias and Lena stood at the precipice. The Watchers offered a choice, join as guardians, or perish in the fallout. Elias chose neither. He destroyed the drive, sealing the rift partially. The veil mended, but thinner, whispers leaking through. Years later, Elias lives in shadow, sharing fragments online. The public knows just enough to question. And you, listener, what secrets lurk in your world? Peek carefully, the shadows watch. Thanks for watching. For more stories like this, please subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share. See you on the next stories that are not meant to be known.